Hello, I'm Wendy Ryan. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of ABC Action News. Throughout the year, ABC Action News has spoken to experts and local leaders about your concerns, making sure the community's voice is heard. And that includes issues with housing, resources, developments, or conservation, and highlighting the solutions, easing the price of paradise. Take a look at this map. It shows the areas throughout the state of Florida seeing population changes since the pandemic. In our area, Hillsborough and Polk counties are seeing the most growth. In fact, right now, more than 1.5 million people are thought to be living right now in Hillsborough County. More than 406,000 of those people are here in Tampa. And along with population changes, there's been a shift in Tampa's skyline. Reporter Keely McCormick shows us what you can expect if you live in the city.
What was once a few tall buildings peppered against the Florida skies is now this stunning skyline. But as we look ahead and more buildings are being built throughout Tampa, the skyline is expanding. Drastic changes that are drawing people from all over the country right here to Tampa, Florida. And that's reflected in Tampa's skyline.
So this is just a really exciting time for Tampa. And as we continue to grow, there's a lot of private sector development, but you're also seeing public-private partnerships with the city.
Water Street continues its expansion. New buildings are going up along the Riverwalk, and the Gasworks development is filling in about 40 acres of land with buildings between Ybor City and Channelside.
What we're doing at Gasworks is going to really sort of transform that area.
Graham Terrell, a developer on the Gasworks project, says there will be about 18 development sites. He tells me the buildings will start at about 5 stories on the north end near Ybor City and grow to reach about 30 stories near Channelside.
And then they'll slowly step up through the district. And on the south edge, as we get closer to the Channel District, it'll be more like, high-rise buildings typical of what you see downtown.
That will be a major change to the skyline, adding new high-rises to press against our blue Florida skies and extending the skyline past the Channel District. But as more buildings go up, so does the price of paradise. I asked the City of Tampa's Nicole Travis how all the development in Tampa will impact affordability.
Along with our continued growth and the population projections that we have for the city, the prices will continue to increase. But we're also seeing that there is a demand for additional units, residential units.
Travis tells me she thinks prices will start to stabilize once there's more housing, which will come with much of this development. Gasworks will add 5,000 new residences. And the city's working on the Rome Yard project, which will create over 1,000 additional housing units. Travis says the city is making a bold commitment to affordable housing.
The affordability is going to be affected just with the fast growth that we're having. However, we are doing everything that we can, looking at policy, legislation, limited funding to be able to do this.
As for how high we'll see the skyline reach, well, that depends on where the buildings are in relation to the flight path. The city tells me height restrictions come from the FAA. We have more information about the specific developments on our website for you. That's at abcactionnews.com. Reporting in Tampa, Keely McCormick, ABC Action News.
Meanwhile, Tampa is not the only city making major changes. St. Petersburg will be building a new landmark in its historic gas plant district. The major complex will be a new home for the Tampa Bay Rays. The project includes 4,800 residential units, 1,200 affordable workforce residential units, and 600 senior living units. Faith in Florida leaders want to see more affordable housing in the project plans. The group's goal is that 1/3 of the units built be considered affordable for people making less than $20 an hour.
In a larger conversation about displacement and race and the community, our goal is that the redevelopment prioritizes residents and not private entities or for-profit companies.
And here's what's next for this project. On January 9th, the Community Benefits Advisory Council is expected to meet. Also, in the early part of 2024, the city expects to vote on the stadium and development agreements. Construction is expected to begin in the fall of 2024. It's not just Hillsborough and Pinellas County seeing major developments. In Pasco County, a waterfront park could soon have a much different look, but not everyone wants to see the changes. Our Pasco County reporter Eric Waxler talked with 2 different groups about why they don't want this new development.
With its beach, trees, and wildlife, Anclote River Park means a lot to Linda Blake.
I have been coming to this park for more than 40 years, and people have enjoyed this park for much longer even than that.
Blake is a Sierra Club member and a conservationist. She is among those against turning this park on the Pinellas-Pasco line into a complex with a restaurant and entertainment space.
People who love this park are kind of horrified with all the land being developed in Pasco County. Private land over which we have very little control. We don't understand why our county commission would seek to commercially develop a park that's already in existence.
One big reason some don't want anything else built here is this Indian burial mound. Robert Rosa is chairman of the American Indian Movement in Florida. He visited Anclote River Park and says some of the existing structures here were built over other burial grounds.
When I heard they're going to do further damage, it just disgusts me.
Rosa's group is working to preserve the Native American history here and at other places around the state.
Just the mound itself is the tombstone. You know, just because it isn't a concrete or marble tombstone doesn't mean it's not a marked burial.
I checked with the Pasco County government to see where this project stands. They say there is an active lease with a developer, but the county says they plan to schedule a community meeting to discuss and educate the public on the park's redesign. They also say there is a slight delay tied to the rezoning application of the restaurant, but those against any development here say they will keep fighting to keep it from happening.
And there's just no excuse to develop this land.
In Pasco County, Eric Waxler, ABC Action News.
And we can't forget about the effects of the population boom. In Polk County, leaders are concerned about a shortage in the drinking water supply. But work is underway to help with projects focusing on alternative water supplies. Polk Regional Water Cooperative is drilling new super wells in Lakeland and near Lake Wales that will penetrate 2 times deeper and tap into the lower Floridian aquifer. Right now, the main source of water is the upper Floridian aquifer. County leaders say that water is pretty much drinkable, just as is. But that's not the case with the lower aquifer.
Dealing with higher sodium and chloride, saltier water, calcium sulfate is increased quite a bit. And so we have to do a process we call reverse osmosis in order to produce that water for potable supply.
These alternative water supply projects are expected to cost more than $650 million. More people means more demand for housing. Here you can see where Tampa and St. Petersburg stand in comparison to the 100 largest cities with the highest and lowest rents. According to numbers from online marketplace apartmentlists.com, Tampa is the 29th most expensive city in the country when it comes to rent. It's more than $300 over the national average. In St. Petersburg, people are paying just about $85 less. This year, the university area celebrated the opening of a brand new community specifically for those looking for affordable housing. In-depth reporter Anthony Hill has that story of a woman who was all out of options until developers moved in.
Welcome to my new home. Come on in.
This is Aisha Bingham, and she's ecstatic to show us her new place in the recently built Uptown Sky apartment building in the university area of Tampa.
All right, this is it. This is what it looks like on the inside. I have 5 kids, so we are just starting out. Don't have that much furniture, but we are gonna get everything that we need.
With the rising rates of rent in the Bay Area, Aisha is incredibly lucky to find an affordable place to call home. That's because her family was one out of 3,000 applicants chosen to live in one of the 61 income-adjusted rental units.
I feel like this is the space I was meant to be in.
She says she grew up in a typical middle-class family right here in Florida, but ran into financial roadblocks when she had her children, and the lack of affordable housing added insult to injury.
So after going in and out of homelessness, I kept on saying, this is not who I am. I don't know how to break out of this.
According to the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, a person working an $11 minimum wage job would have to work 92 hours a week to afford a 1-bedroom rental in the Tampa Bay area. Blue Sky Communities constructed the building Aisha is living in. They're a real estate developer that specializes in affordable housing right here in Florida.
And so what that means is that we combine private equity funds with bank dollars and some government funding. And in exchange, we provide an apartment complex that is affordable to the working class.
So far, they've constructed 12 apartment complexes throughout the Bay Area, with 4 more on the way in Hillsborough County. And though, no doubt, that's a good thing, it's just a drop in the bucket to feed the Bay Area's demand for affordable housing.
Ever since this current affordable housing crisis started a few years ago, we are getting a lot of people signing up at our new communities.
The University Area Community Development Corporation teamed up with Blue Sky Communities to build Uptown Sky. They plan to offer wellness programs for residents, everything from swimming lessons to yoga and financial literacy classes, all on the ground floor of the building.
And now we're going to be entering our workforce computer lab, where residents will be able to get services like resume writing, certification training, anything that residents need and want will be offered here in our computer lab, only an elevator ride right away. Also, we have an amazing library for the kids to come down and get a book.
As for Aisha,
Okay, so you guys can all go out. Yanni and Yezi, can you guys help me out? 'Cause
she's just happy to now have an affordable place to live that she can take pride in.
the pool is a great incentive or reward for good behavior. So I do less talking and yelling, because all I gotta say is, you're not gonna go to the pool. And then to be able to hear them and to go over there and look at them is comforting, to let them be able to play and for me to have a peace of mind in here.
In Tampa, I'm in-depth reporter Anthony Hill, ABC Action News.
Retiring to Florida has been the dream for so many Americans, why experts say it's now becoming out of reach.
Welcome back. Right now, experts say owning a mobile home is the cheapest way to live in Florida right now. Take a look at the averages here to rent an apartment, buy a house, and lot rent. But despite this, rising prices at mobile home parks have many people, especially senior citizens, wonder if they'll be able to afford retirement in the Sunshine State. And they spoke to our reporter Rebecca Petit about their concerns.
Retiring to Florida has been the dream for many Americans, but it's now becoming out of reach. Lucia Laureano has always pictured Florida as the ideal place to live out her golden years. What she didn't expect was how much it would cost.
When I got hit with the increase, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Laureano tells me when she first moved into her 55-plus retirement community in Lakeland, her lot rent was $887. In January, it will go up to $2,000 a month.
Snowbirds that have been here for 20-something years, if not 30 or more, since they built the park. And they're talking about how the rent started to what it is today. And they can't believe it.
A recent analysis from retirement experts for GoBankingRates.com found some people are rethinking the Sunshine State as the go-to retirement destination. The cost of housing in Florida has skyrocketed, with a median home value of nearly $393,000, according to Zillow.
It used to be that people could retire in Florida and get a beautiful home for fairly inexpensive comparatively to other states. And now it's not as competitive as it used to be. So that makes it more difficult to retire to the home that they want to be in.
Some retirement experts say the state's ongoing insurance crisis is also driving retirees to find more affordable places to call home. But no matter where you live, wealth advisors like Dave Duquette say one of the biggest mistakes people make when planning for retirement is their savings percentage.
Teach them how to save more than 5%. So we're wanting to focus on trying to save at least 20% of gross income and helping them diversify where that's going, right? Not all into a vehicle like a traditional 401k.
Financial advisors add, to make your cash stretch further during retirement, you should continue to invest, set aside money for emergencies, and become debt-free. Experts say states like Alabama, Wyoming, and South Carolina are becoming more attractive retirement destinations. I'm Rebecca Petit, ABC Action News.
If you live in the Tampa Bay area, you've likely noticed houses are flying off the market, even with those high interest rates. However, new research nationwide found pending home sales went down in October. After the break, a look at where the housing market stands.
I'm Mary O'Connell in Pinellas County, taking an in-depth look at where the local housing market stands. It can feel almost like another job to find and buy a new home. Nicholas Cimino can relate.
Literally, nearly every day. I'm on all the platforms. I'm constantly searching.
He's been looking for a new home in the Tampa Bay area for about the past 8 months.
A lot of people have come to Florida, Tampa Bay in general. The options are rather more selective, let alone homes now have all increased in price. Interest rates have gone up, so trying to find home within, where I'd like to be it's just not out there right now from what I've seen.
It may feel familiar for people across the country. According to the National Association of Realtors, the pending home sales index, which they say is a forward-looking indicator of home sales based on contract signings, dropped 1.5% to 71.4 in October, saying it's the lowest number since the index was originated in 2001.
They have this pent-up demand with all these people that rent that really would like to buy. There's low inventory, higher prices, and higher interest rates, and other things like inflation impacting all of those things.
Ken Jones, a local realtor, thinks pending home sales are down for a number of reasons.
There's a rise in interest rates, so their payments are higher. The amount of money out of pocket because of the higher prices of the homes is more significant. And a lot of buyers have had to change the product that they're looking for and the price range that they're looking within because their buying power has changed.
Jay Quigley, the president of Greater Tampa Realtors, tells me in the market today, what they're seeing are homes that aren't perfect sitting on the market longer.
Buyers who are a little hesitant to jump in, mainly due to interest rates, right? A couple other things that are affecting it is not just interest rates, Mary, but where do we live? We live in Florida. The entire state is in a flood zone, right? We have homeowners insurance crisis here.
Different factors making for an interesting housing market, with potential buyers like Cimino holding out hope they'll be in the perfect home soon.
2024, we'll see how the market trend goes, but you just got to stay at it.
In Pinellas County, Mary O'Connell, ABC Action News.
One of the many attributes that makes our area a paradise, people want to live near and visit our coastline. But right now, Florida is considered ground zero in the fight for water quality as we combat red tides, algae blooms, oil spills, and major hurricanes. Next, our Michael Paluska shows us how artificial intelligence is leading the way to protect our water.
I'm Michael Paluska. Hurricane season might be in our rearview mirror, but there are plenty of problems plaguing our coastal communities. That's why hundreds of scientists gathered here from across the globe to talk about the cutting-edge science and technologies to protect our waterways. Hurricanes, red tide, blue-green algae, thousands of sick or dying manatees, and sargassum blooms smothering beaches. Floridians are no strangers to dramatic events, but researchers say things are getting more extreme, problems we can't ignore. If the oceans collapse, can humanity survive?
No way. The ocean provides half of the oxygen of the entire atmosphere.
We interviewed USF professor Dr. Chai-Min Hu at the International Ocean Color Science meeting hosted by the USF College of Marine Science, where hundreds of bright minds from around the globe gathered to collaborate on big ideas.
Oh, this is extremely important. And, in old days, people go to the field and take a couple of measurements to tell, oh, this is what's happening, but they have no way to tell the large picture. And what this conference is about, to use the most cutting-edge technology to look at the large picture, global picture, and also zooming into your local area.
What is ocean color science? The name says it all, studying colors to determine ocean health. Like these satellite photos taken before Hurricane Ian and after, the water light bluish green before turning brown. It is one data set from among millions of satellite images, now the eyes of artificial intelligence. How long would it take for like a human to crunch data like that?
Oh, I mean, it's unfathomable.
USF Research Assistant Professor Dr. Brian Barnes tells me artificial intelligence and machine learning is the future. For people living on the coast, it's going to help protect them.
That's the goal. That's the goal, yeah.
Yet even with AI, science can't keep up. What is your biggest worry about our oceans?
We have a lot of things happening to the oceans, and they are happening at a rate that is faster than the rate at which we are gathering new information. And these are big questions that small groups cannot address in totality. So we need to work together to find solutions that are common and that can be applied globally.
With rising seas and a warming ocean, as sea temperatures in Florida topped 101.1, a possible world record, the clock is ticking for leaders and regular people to listen up.
Hopefully our voice is heard by them, so they put more attention to this before it's too late.
In St. Petersburg with photojournalist Reed Moeller, Michael Paluska, ABC Action News.
Thank you for joining us on this special edition of ABC Action News, The Price of Paradise. I'm Wendy Ryan. For more information on the stories you just saw and our extensive coverage of the costs and solutions to the price of paradise, head to our website at abcactionnews.com.